It's time now for Farnsworth's Fables, written and narrated by Reginald Q. Farnsworth.
Thank you, Isaac. This week's story is the epic tale of Jack and the Beanstalk. Our story begins...
Oh, Reginald!
Oh, no. Not again.
Reginald, my love!
Hello, Cecilia.
It took me a long while, but I finally found you again.
Cecilia, now is not a good time for this. I'm in the middle of telling a story.
That's fine. I like to watch.
Anyway, the story begins in a little farm cottage in the English countryside, where a young man named Jack lived with his mother Rosalind, his younger sister Brandy, and his pet cow Bessie. Jack and his family were poor, but they were ambitious. Brandy, in particular, dreamed of becoming the next Patti LuPone, a dream which her mother supported strongly because of the enormous commercial possibilities should she succeed. One late afternoon, Rosalind called Jack in from the fields to give him some rather devastating news.
Jack, I've got a very important big boy thing I need you to do for me.
What is it, Mama?
Well, you know how your sister wants to become a great singer?
Yup.
I'm gonna be the next Pat.
Patti LuPone. I know.
Yes, well, I've decided to sign her up for singing lessons to help her on her journey to stardom. But those lessons don't come cheap. That's where you come in. You see, we're all going to need to make some sacrifices if we're going to be able to pay for Brandy's lessons. Especially since we haven't been making as much money recently selling produce. What I need you to do for me is to sell that pet cow of yours.
What? Oh, no. Not Bessie. Anything but that.
Jack, dear, we all have to make sacrifices. I'm giving up my vodka for this. Brandy's doing without new garters for a while. You need to help out too.
But Mama, Bessie's my best friend.
And Brandy's your sister. Your family comes before your friends, Jack.
But Bessie is family. We've been taking care of her ever since she was a calf.
She's a dumb animal, Jack. Don't get so sentimental over her.
Mama, does the world really need another Patti LuPone?
Blasphemer!
Ow!
The world will always need Patti LuPone.
Ugh, I ask you to do one thing, and you can't do it, you selfish, wicked child. You leave me no choice. Either you sell that cow or she becomes our dinner tomorrow night.
Well, I guess I got no choice then.
Be sure and haggle real good. Don't just settle for the first price you're given.
Yes, Mama.
And so, the next day, Jack got Bessie and went on his way to the market. On his way, however, he happened to run into some rather unscrupulous businessmen.
Come on, Patsy, would you help me set up over here?
My name's not Patsy anymore, Mr. Honest John. It's Alfie.
Yeah, whatever. Now help me set up here.
All right. Don't get your mustache in a twist.
We gotta unload all this phony baloney magic stuff by the end of the week.
Really, Mr. Honest John, sir, who do you think could be so stupid, so irredeemably idiotic, as to fall for a bit like a lamp with a genie in it, or a bag of magic beans, or this manuscript of yours, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword?
Well, you know the old saying, Patsy.
Alfie.
Whatever. Anyway, you know the old saying, there's a sucker born every minute.
Come along, Bessie.
Patsy, I do believe that is Mr. Sucker calling.
Alfie!
Oh, jeez.
Come on, Bessie, stop being so difficult. Look, I don't want to have to sell you either, but Mama really wants to get Brandy those singing lessons. And really, Brandy's got such talent. She could really be the next Patti LuPone if she tried hard enough and worked hard enough, and maybe the lessons would help her. But don't tell anyone I said that. Oh, right. You can't. Anyway, come along.
Watch and learn, Patsy.
Alfie!
Yee! Hello there, good sir. My, what a beautiful-looking cow you have there.
Thanks? I'm taking her to market today.
Oh, no. A cow like this? Those swindlers down at the market wouldn't even know the true worth of this beautiful creature. A cow of such mystical beauty. Surely the only reasonable price is something mystical in return. Here, for this beautiful cow there, I'll offer you this bag of magic beans.
I don't know. Exactly how are they magic?
Well, you plant them in the ground, see, and then overnight they turn into a pot of gold.
Really?
Hey, they don't call me Honest John for nothing. Isn't that right, Patsy?
My name is Alfie.
Whatever. So, what do you say, kid? We got a deal?
Well, I suppose so.
Great, great. You won't regret this, kid.
And so Jack returned home with a bag of beans. His mother, of course, was not at all pleased.
A bag of magic beans? Some guy offered to buy that dumb cow of yours for a bag of magic beans, and you fell for it?
Well, he seemed trustworthy. I mean, he had a snappy suit and everything.
Ugh, my son, the moron. I ask you to do one thing, one simple thing, and you louse it up. I swear, you're gonna put me in an early grave. Go to your room. You're not getting any supper tonight.
But...
And you're not getting any supper tomorrow night either. Or the night after that, or the night after that.
And so Jack went up to his room dejected and hungry. His mother, in a fit of anger, threw the beans right out the window. Later that night, after dinner, Brandy snuck upstairs to Jack's room.
Yeah?
I brought you some soup so you wouldn't starve.
Thanks, sis. Listen, I'm sorry about bungling up the whole thing with Bessie. I guess you won't be getting your singing lessons.
Not yet, no, but that's fine. I'll just keep practicing on my own. People in town say I already sound pretty good.
You do, you know.
Thanks.
Mama's really cheesed about the whole thing with the beans. I can't blame her. In hindsight, that was pretty dumb of me.
Well, we all make mistakes in life.
Yeah, but mine was quite a Lulu.
Well, I guess we all have to make a few Lulus, too. Eat your soup, it's gonna get cold.
Thanks again, Brandy.
Don't mention it. I mean it, don't mention it, or we may both be going without supper.
Yeah. Our mother's kind of a terrible person in this version of the story.
Yeah. Well, good night.
Good night.
And so, after finishing his soup, Jack fell fast asleep. As he slept, something truly mystical happened. Little did Jack, or indeed the salesman, know, but the beans truly were magic. During the middle of the night, unbeknownst to Jack, a giant beanstalk sprouted from the ground. The sight of it the next morning gave him quite the surprise.
Mama, Brandy, come look at this.
What is it, Jack?
Holy cow.
Giant beanstalk. Oh.
I wonder where it leads to.
There's only one way to find out.
So Jack and Brandy climbed up the beanstalk, mile after mile after mile, until they finally reached the very top. There they discovered a castle in the clouds, which they decided to explore.
This place is so big. Everything is so giant-sized.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness, what's that?
Well, you know how everything's giant-sized?
Yeah?
Well, I think that's the reason why.
Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell. Actually, I don't think I'm very familiar with this smell. Intruders! Martha, get the mouse traps. We've got pests again.
Oh, not again.
We'd better hide.
I've got a better idea. Run like hell!
The two siblings ran as fast as their little feet would carry them, but they soon bumped into the big toe of the giantess.
Oof!
Ow! Hey, these aren't pests. They're just tiny little humans.
Oh, please, Mr. and Mrs. Giant, please don't eat us. We taste terrible. We're all skin and bone. Remember, your mothers and our mother are all mothers.
Good heavens, we wouldn't dream of eating you.
You wouldn't?
Oh, no. That kind of thing's not really our bag.
Phew.
But as long as you're here, would you mind doing a quick little favor for us?
I guess.
There's this tiny little goose that keeps eating our grain. Would you mind catching it for us and getting it out of our house? There's a large reward in it for you.
What do you think, Brandy? Should we do it?
Why not? It's just a goose.
So the two set up a trap by the giant's grain silo
The giants have a grain silo?
Yes, Cecilia, they do. Where else would they store their grain? Anyway.
Why do the giants have grain? Do they make their own bread? Why don't they just buy bread?
Because they're giants! There aren't many stores on Earth that serve giants. They have to make everything themselves. There. Does that explanation satisfy you?
Yes.
Will you stop interrupting me now?
Yes, Love Muffin.
And will you please stop calling me that?
As you wish, Tiger Drawers.
Oh, God. Anyway, Jack and Brandy set up a trap for the goose by the grain silo, and they waited, and waited, and waited, until finally...
Yes! We caught it! We caught it!
The two then brought the goose back to the giants.
You caught the goose? Marvelous! Thank you so much for doing us this favor. Here's your reward, a magic harp that plays by itself.
Wow! This'll save me a lot of money on accompanists.
In addition, you get to keep the goose. We know how much you humans love goose meat.
Thanks.
What the? An egg? It's solid gold.
It had better be, considering how much of our grain that goose has eaten.
Dear, the goose is theirs now.
I know, all that lost grain.
There, dear. There's some leftover corn fluff in the fridge. I'll heat it up for you.
Thanks, dear.
And so Jack and Brandy went on their way, harp and goose in tow. As they descended down the beanstalk, who should happen to spot them but that slimy old Honest John?
Wait, what is Honest John doing around Jack's house?
Your constant interruptions don't help, you know. They don't add any entertainment value. This isn't the damn Princess Bride, and you're not Fred Savage.
What happened to us, Reggie? You used to say such nice things to me.
John! Marcia! John! Marcia.
I just thought you'd
Ugh. Anyway, as he saw them climb down, he noticed the harp, the goose, and the eggs.
Hey, look, Patsy, it's that kid whose cow we bought yesterday.
Alfie.
Whatever. He's climbing down a giant beanstalk. You thinking what I'm thinking?
The magic beans we sold him really were magic?
Yes, and there's treasure up there on the top of that beanstalk. I'm rich, I'm wealthy, I'm independent, I'm socially secure.
Don't you mean we?
Who are you again? I'm rich, I'm comfortably well off.
Just as soon as Jack and Brandy had gotten down from the beanstalk, Honest John hopped on it and began climbing up as fast as he could. About that time, Jack and Brandy's mother, Rosalind, came too.
Oh, what happened?
We're rich, Mama. We've got a goose that lays golden eggs and a magic self-playing harp. We can afford Brandy's singing lessons after all, and it's all thanks to those magic beans.
I'm dreaming right now, aren't I? I'm still unconscious right now, right?
No, Mama, it's true. These two giants who live at the top of the beanstalk gave them to us.
Excuse me. But have you seen a snappily dressed gentleman with no moral compass whatsoever come by here?
Is that him climbing up the beanstalk?
Hey, that's the guy who sold me the magic beans.
Well, I'm gonna teach him a lesson about trying to cheat my kids. Brandy, get my axe.
An axe? What are you, crazy? This chainsaw will get the job done much faster.
Patsy, you backstabbing rat bastard.
My name is Alfie!
And Honest John was crushed to death, while Jack, Brandy, and Rosalind lived happily ever after. The end.
What a marvelous story, Reggie. I do so admire your creativity. Now that you've finished your business here, shall we go out to dinner?
I'm sorry, Cecilia, but I do not reciprocate your romantic feelings. I'm not sure how I can be any clearer than I've already been. Besides, I've already made other plans.
Miss Stewart, I'm available tonight, if you wouldn't mind me joining you.
I've suddenly lost my appetite. Forever.
Ah, well. Can't win 'em all. Well, ta-ta for now.
Thank you, Mr. Farnsworth.